We know folks have a lot of questions right now, so here's some answers to some of the basic questions. Yeah, what's happening? So we're at the last day of the fiscal year. We need to get a budget deal to make sure that the U.S. government stays open. I've been here during two shutdowns. A Senate colleague, Ted Cruz, forced one in 2013, and Donald Trump forced one in 2018-19. We haven't had one since then because we've had leadership willing to work together. Donald Trump told the House Republicans to prepare a budget and not deal with the Democrats, not even talk to us. So Democrats put an alternate on the table that we think is better for the Americans in healthcare, but it also is really important. It makes sure that a deal is a deal. Because what we've seen is Donald Trump will enter into a deal and then immediately the next day start tearing it up, canceling funds, firing people, laying off contractors. And so we want to know that a deal is a deal. And every American understands that. If you're going to do a deal, the parties that do the deal should honor it. So that's what we're seeking. President Trump refused to meet with Democrats, canceling a meeting last week, and finally agreed to meet yesterday. And as soon as the meeting was done, put out a ridiculous doctored tweet making fun of the Democrats who'd been in his office. Democrats have proposed keep government open, put a guarantee once the parties agree, Donald Trump can't tear it up tomorrow. He has to live by the deal. That's really important. And the Democrats have also proposed helping Americans with health care. A few months ago, the Republicans extended tax cuts for the super wealthy, but refused to extend premium support for people who are purchasing health insurance. And we're saying, listen, let's go back and fix that so people won't lose health insurance and see their premiums skyrocket. And many of our Republican colleagues have said publicly we should do it. So let's make it happen. Thus far, they have not really even been willing to talk. I mean, Donald Trump again said, do the budget without Democrats. We don't need to deal with them. There was a meeting scheduled for last week with the congressional leadership that he canceled. He had a meeting yesterday that was unproductive. Just putting out funny videos and focusing attention on going after your political enemies and criminal prosecutions. That's not what the American people want. They want you to be serious about getting a budget deal done, and they want you to tackle the rising costs of everything from energy to healthcare to food to clothes to automobiles. Inflation is really prominent right now. President Trump said he'd do something about it, but instead he's focused on the wrong issues. It's urgent in Virginia because in the aftermath of what Republicans did in their reconciliation bill, the estimate is that more than 300,000 Virginians will lose health insurance. Those that maintain their health insurance are getting notices that their premiums are going to go sky high. We've already had the announced closures of medical providers, primary clinics in Virginia because of the Medicaid cuts. When that happens, people get laid off, healthcare workers get laid off, and communities without accessible medical care find that they have a real hard time attracting economic development. That's why this is so important that we address it. Federal workers are the ones who are going to suffer the most, and Virginia has the second most number of federal workers. President Trump has already been waging a war to fire as many as he can, and he's threatening to do it more. But the one thing I want to make plain is I got a bill passed that in the event of a shutdown, any federal worker gets back pay when the government reopens. It used to be that was not the case. There was no guarantee. But federal workers will get back pay. Now, getting back pay isn't the same as getting your paycheck on time, so we need to work to make sure that if there is a shutdown, it's a very short one. But I've already gotten a guarantee in place that federal workers will get back pay in the event of a shutdown.